What documents are required for UK skilled worker visa? Documents you'll need to apply. When you apply, you'll need to provide your certificate of sponsorship reference number. Your employer will give you this proof of your knowledge of English, a valid passport or other document that shows your identity and nationality. Your job title and annual salary. Your job's occupation code. The name of your employer and their sponsor license number. This will be on your certificate of sponsorship. Other documents you might need depending on your circumstances. You might be asked to provide evidence that you have enough personal savings to support yourself in the UK, for example bank statements, unless your certificate of sponsorship shows your employer can support you. Proof of your relationship with your partner or children if they're applying with you. Your tuberculosis test results if you're from a listed country. A criminal record certificate, if you're working in certain jobs. A valid ATAS certificate if your employer tells you that you need one because your job involves researching a sensitive subject at PhD level or higher. Your UK PhD certificate, or your unique ECTIS reference number, formerly unique UK NARIC reference number. If your qualification is from outside the UK, you'll need to apply through ECTIS. You'll need a blank page in your passport for your visa if you're from outside the EU, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, or Liechtenstein. From the EU, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, or Liechtenstein but do not have a biometric passport with a chip in it. If your documents are not in English or Welsh, you'll also need to provide a certified translation. Criminal record certificate. You'll need to provide a criminal record certificate if you're applying from outside the UK and you work in education, for example teachers, education advisors, and school inspectors, childminders, teaching assistants. Healthcare, for example nurses, doctors, paramedics, managers, pharmacists, dentists and dental nurses, ophthalmic opticians. Therapy, for example psychologists, speech and language therapists, counselors. Social services, for example social workers, managers, probation officers, welfare and housing officers. Check how to apply for criminal records checks. If you work in healthcare, you might be able to apply for the health and care worker visa instead. If you've lived in more than one country, you might need to provide a certificate from each country you've lived in, depending on your age and how long you stayed in each country. If you're under 28, you'll need a certificate from any country you've stayed in for a total of 12 months or more since you turned 18. If you're 28 or over, you'll need a certificate from any country you've stayed in over the last 10 years. When you've got your documents ready, you can apply online once your documents are ready. How you apply depends on whether you're outside the UK and are coming to the UK, inside the UK and extending your current visa, inside the UK and switching from a different visa. If you've read the guidance and you're not sure if you're eligible, you can use a Home Office checker tool. You'll be asked to confirm that you meet all of the eligibility requirements. How much it costs when you apply for a skilled worker visa. you'll need to have enough money to pay the application fee. The standard fee ranges from £719 to £1,639 depending on your circumstances. Pay the healthcare surcharge. This is usually £1,035 per year. Support yourself when you arrive in the UK. You'll usually need to have at least £1,270 available, unless you're exempt. You'll pay a lower application fee if your job is on the immigration salary list. You'll be told how much you need to pay when you apply. For example, you're applying to come to the UK from Argentina for 2 years on a skilled worker visa. Your job is not on the immigration salary list, so your visa will cost £719, plus £1,035 for each year of your stay for the healthcare surcharge. This means you'll pay a total of £2,789 when you apply for your visa. You'll also need to prove you have £1,270 available to support yourself in the UK if your employer cannot cover these costs. Application fees. If you're applying from outside the UK, the standard fee depends on whether you'll be in the UK for up to 3 years, £719 per person. More than 3 years, £1,420 per person. If you're applying from inside the UK to extend, switch, or update your visa, the standard fee depends on whether you'll be in the UK for up to 3 years, £827 per person. More than 3 years, £1,636 per person. If your job is on the immigration salary list, you and your family will pay a lower application fee if your job is on the immigration salary list. The fee for each person applying is £551 if you're staying for up to 3 years. £1,084 if you're staying for more than 3 years. The fee is the same whether you're applying from inside or outside the UK. Healthcare surcharge. You'll also have to pay the healthcare surcharge for each year of your stay. This is usually £1,035 per year. Check how much you'll have to pay before you apply. Money to support yourself. You must have at least £1,270 in your bank account to show you can support yourself in the UK. You will need to have had the money available for at least 28 days in a row. Day 28 must be within 31 days of applying for this visa. You'll usually need to show proof of this when you apply, unless either you've been in the UK with a valid visa for at least 12 months. Your employer can cover your costs during your first month in the UK, up to £1,270. Your partner and children will also need to prove they can support themselves while they're in the UK. Check how much they'll need. Read the guidance on financial evidence for more information about the money you need and how to prove it. If your employer can support you instead, your certificate of sponsorship must confirm this. Your employer will need to complete the Sponsor Certifies Maintenance section on your certificate. This is under Additional Data. I have a misunderstanding of where do the P46 comes into the Skilled Worker Visa Administration. A P46 is a form that takes the place of a P45 if you don't have one from a previous employer. It is a tax form that ensures you pay the correct amount of income tax from your pay. Now it is clearly why Port Talbot and Tata is so clean. Is this fraud? Of course it is.
All right, guys, we've made it to Agra. We're actually going to go inside the Taj Mahal. This is where it's at. Let's do it.
We were here on Gandhi's birthday and it was packed.
As we're standing around here, there's a lot of monkeys, and what the monkey will do is it'll actually come running up to you, try and grab something out of your hand like a camera or your phone, and don't...
Oh boy. How I'm gonna pass? How? I can't pass. Okay, we're gonna go to here. As everyone else, but I don't fit over there.
कोई बात ना गाड़ी बंद हुआ है आराम से लाए लाए
Thank you. Oh my days. Thank you. Very busy. Super busy.
Situation in your country?
Romania.
Romania?
Yes.
Have you seen this type of situation in your country?
Never. Never. I'm afraid to walk around here. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go up over here.
Hey, young man.
Gangster, local gangster.